Okay, we're going to go over a couple items in regards to angle conversion. So these angles that I have listed over here are all in what we call radians. We are going to learn how to convert them to degrees. In order to convert them to degrees, we are going to multiply by 180 degrees over pi. That is what we call the conversion factor between angles that are measured in radians and degrees. So to start, I have this pi over 6. I'm simply going to multiply this by 180 degrees pi. And when I do that, the pi's will cancel. So that just leaves me with 180 degrees over 6, which simplifies to 30 degrees. And that is all that is needed there. That simplification might be a little bit more difficult at times, and that's why I have decimals pulled up there on the right side. If we look at like number 5, something a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to do 180 degrees over pi. That's what we're going to multiply by. So now in this case, the pi's cancel. 5 times 180 is 900, and now I have 900 degrees divided by 6, and I just need to simplify that. So again, you can utilize decimals as needed. All right, but 900 divided by 6 is 150 degrees. Okay. And then finally, something slightly more complex, number 9, one that I probably won't be able to do in my head. All right, so when we look at converting this one, again, we're just going to multiply by that conversion factor, 180 degrees over pi. So if we want to get in degrees, the 180 degrees will be in the numerator, okay? So that's one big thing to keep in mind here, all right? So as we work our way through this one, all right, I'm going to, again, have those pi's cancel out. So this will be 17 times 180 degrees over 6, okay? So what I would do on a calculator or, again, on decimals is do 17 times 180. That's going to give me 3060, and that's, again, in degrees. And then I'll have that divided by 6. So when I do that, I will get 510. Okay, and that is how we can convert between radians to degrees. All right. On the flip, we will do converting to degrees to radians. So now you'll notice that the conversion factor is simply flipped. So instead of 180 degrees over pi, it is pi over 180. So in this case, I do this in this manner. We want to get into radians. That means that pi is going to be in the numerator. All right, so this becomes 6 pi over 180. All right, the degree measurements technically are what cancels there. Okay, now the only thing that we need to do here is get the 60 and the 180 to reduce. Okay, and that's where I'm going to utilize decimals. All right, so I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. We've done it before, but we're going to leave the pi within our answer, and then we have to figure out what 60 over 180 reduces to. So if we look at decimals, we can go ahead and type in 60 divided by 180. All right, and you can see how that gives us 0.3 repeating, but if we hit this little fraction bar here, you can see that that will change, hopefully, into 1/3. Okay, so our answer would be 1 over 3, which we could just write as pi over 3. Okay, we don't need that 1 in the numerator. For number 5, same thing. We're going to get this into radians, so that conversion factor will be pi over 180 degrees. The degree measurements cancel, so we'll have 120 pi over 180, and again, we just need to reduce this 120 over 180. So to do that, if we go to decimals, here, I'll type it in a new part, 120 divided by 180. It's going to give me 0.6 repeating, which is in a fraction 2/3. So this will be 2 pi over 3. You could also rewrite that as 2/3 pi. So these are equivalent. This is probably the format you'll see the most, but you do need to understand that the 2/3 pi is equivalent. All right. Same thing for number 9. Last one we'll do. So we'll multiply by pi over 180 because we are trying to get into radians. If you want to get radians, pi's got to be in the numerator. So this will give us 270 pi over 180. And it's just a matter of reducing fractions. So again, you can type that into Desmos. All right. In the interest of time, I'm just going to do that one in my head. That's going to give us 3 over 2. So we could write that as 3 pi over 2. Or if you want, again, you could write it as 3 over 2 pi. Again, this is probably going to be the form that you'll see it utilized as most often. And that is all.